With many gamers eagerly anticipating the release of Spiderman on the PS4 and wanting to consume all footage and details that have been released, news has also come to light that the game would never come over to the Xbox. This hasn't been called a timed exclusive and is more complicated than Insomniac simply having a deal with Sony, but it's also a good chance to talk about the Xbox exclusives and their success. Welcome to MaxPowerPlay, an unbiased and passionate place to talk about everything in the gaming industry. Be sure to check out the other gaming opinions, news and reviews, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. The gameplay that has been released for Spider-Man, and including its very first reveal, has excited fans of the character and gamers alike. The world which Insomniac has created looks to be incredible, with a fantastic level of detail, such a detailed and realistic recreation of New York City that gamers will be let loose in, as well as being a game that will really push the base PS4 and the PS4 Pro's hardware. At the moment, the game is running on dev kits, but by the time the game launches in September, I would expect the game to look and run just as well. But let's turn our attention to the topic of an Xbox version. Why one won't exist, and perhaps why other titles don't either. The talking point surrounding the game is whether or not the game would be a PS4 timed exclusive, whereby it would make its way over to the Xbox eventually, but this won't be the case. According to the Insomniac Games official Twitter account, Marvel, who own the Spider-Man license, has handed it over to Sony in order to make the game based on the license, so Sony has in turn tasked the talented people over at Insomniac Games to develop the title, and considering Sony only deal with their own hardware, this is why an Xbox version won't happen in the future. But judging by the talk surrounding the game by Xbox fans and others in the gaming community, I feel it's a shame that it won't be a multi-platform release, so owners of each system can enjoy it, but that's just the way it is. But this also brings me to the next point of the discussion, or even outrage, that some have shown on social media regarding this topic, and others of a similar nature. To focus on the Xbox platform for a moment and on its fans, who I am a big part of, will this outrage or even disappointment surrounding Spider-Man not coming to the Xbox actually have translated into sales for the game and future games in the franchise should a release being granted on the Xbox? Of course, we will never know, but we can draw some conclusions between other games and the talk surrounding them. Over the last year especially, I see many comments regarding many Xbox gamers wanting to see sequels to Ryse, Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break especially, but, well, especially for the last two games, these games didn't sell very well at all on the system. But why not? These were fun, great, technically impressive games that were fantastic single-player experiences. One of which was made by the same people who are making the much-wanted latest Spider-Man game for the PS4. Judging from the gameplay footage shown off for the game, it's clear that some of the experience and gameplay mechanics of Sunset Overdrive have found their way over to the Spider-Man game, as they should, as the traversal system in that game were fantastic and really rewarded players who put the time in to learn the intricacies of it. If so many Xbox players have such a soft spot for Sunset Overdrive, then why wasn't the love for the game reflected in the sales for it? We as gamers have a right to express our views and opinions as to what games we want to see released, and for the games we want to play to be the ones that are made. But we also must support the games we are so vocal about. It doesn't matter how many Facebook or Twitter likes an idea or statement gets, or how many times it gets retweeted and shared. The only thing that matters is the sales, as that will determine what future games and sequels get made. In terms of Xbox, Spider-Man won't be released for the platform for the reasons stated, and it's up to PS4 fans to support the game. The games that people list to determine which platform has the most games and is therefore superior is insignificant when compared to the sales, because without the sales, the list of exclusive titles on those lists will shrink. If Xbox is to be seen as more than just a platform to play Halo, Gears of War or Forza on, then it's us as Xbox gamers who has to support those other exclusive games that we want to play, to show Microsoft and other developers that the console is worthy of having those games, whether they be multiplayer focused or single player story driven games.
Get us all.
For Microsoft, you need to listen to the fans and provide the games they want to play and release them in a state that gamers are happy with. We need new IP and long-running series apart from the big three franchises. Otherwise, more fans will jump to another console or platform that offers the games they want to play. The talk surrounding games as a service is fine, but that also does not mean every game needs to be like this heading into the future. Gamers become frustrated when games get released with little content, or when we see more hardware released in the form of controllers than we see new games, or even new game announcements. I for one believe announcements will come at E3, but Xbox fans have already been very patient and have already been playing the waiting game for a considerable amount of time. If the Spider-Man footage and talk has showed us anything, it's that many Xbox fans are wanting these types of single-player games on their console and they aren't receiving them. We need a mixture of different genres, a mixture of single-player and multiplayer games, and that goes for all systems, but the most important part is that new games get announced and released so gamers know what's coming. Recall, Halo Wars 2 and Sea of Thieves isn't enough over more than 18 months. Xbox gamers are sometimes labelled as a group of people who don't buy games outside of shooters and the main Xbox franchises. Judging by the poor sales for some exclusives and the non-existence of sequels, I think it's time we woke up and support these games we want to play and let it be known to Microsoft what others we want to see on the platform. It is no good to not buy a new exclusive game at full price and then several years in the future we complain why there is no sequel, even though the majority picked up the game at a deep sale price. We may like certain posts and share what games we love, but if as Xbox fans we question that the Xbox One has only sold around 35 to 40 million consoles, and we believe the number is too conservative, and it is in fact more, then the very fact that fantastic new IP such as Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break sold so little is even more surprising and a little depressing. We as Xbox owners need to support these games we seem to really enjoy, but in addition to that, if Microsoft doesn't lift their game, then PlayStation owners will be web-slinging all over New York in September, whilst Xbox owners will simply be perched stationary on a rooftop, looking at others flying high. Do you agree with my comments about Spider-Man and the game situation on Xbox? If you agree or disagree, then please comment down below. Thank you for checking out the video, and please subscribe to the channel for more gaming opinions, news and reviews. This is Max Power, and I hope you join me on the next video on MaxPowerPlay.